This video looks at Kems, page 306. You'll see that right away we have an equation, an inequality, and then we're going to graph what our solution is. Well, we learned already that when we have an equation like x plus 2 equals 4, the way to solve and figure out what x is to subtract the opposite from each side. Since we had addition, we would use subtraction. We would have to do the opposite. We're trying to isolate the x. So the 2's would cancel out, and we end up with x on one side equals 4 take away 2, which is 2. This we already learned. Today, we're looking at inequality, and if you look at the inequality, it is basically the same thing, except it's not the same. This, instead of using an equal sign, uses a less than, and sometimes it could be a greater than, or it can be a greater than, or equal to, or a less than, or equal to. So, regardless of what the sign is, we solve it the same way. In this case, again, we would take away 2 from both sides. The 2's would cancel out, and we would have x is less than 4 take away 2, which is 2. What we're going to graph is the inequality. So to show that x is less than 2, we're going to put a circle on 2. And if you see I've already written the numbers in, feel free to pause the video to go ahead and fill your book in so that you can follow along with us. There's our 2. And we can't color it in because it's not equal to, it's just less than. To show less than, we go to the left-hand side and we put an arrow. Okay, so number 2 then is basically the same thing. Go ahead and do number 2 on your own and then graph the solution. Very good. So for number 3 now, we're looking at 2x equals 4, and then 2x is less than 4 for the inequality. The graph, we'll fill the numbers in after we're finished. So 2x equals 4. As we learned before, these are 2 times x. And so to do the opposite of that, we need to do division. And of course, we need to do it on both sides. So what we're going to do is divide both sides by the number 2. On the first side, the 2's will cancel out and we'll be left with x. X equals 4 divided by 2, which is 2. And you'll see I'll cross out some of the stuff that we're not working with today. So the equation is x equals 2. The inequality looks the same with the exception of the fact that we have a less than symbol instead of an equal symbol. However, we solve them the same way. So we would divide both sides by 2 because 2 is the opposite of division is the opposite of multiplication. And so therefore the 2's will cancel out. 2 divided by 2 is 1. There's our x, our 1x. We keep our less than symbol. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Now, to fill in our graph, let's put a 0 here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. To graph this, it is x is less than 2. So we start with 2 and put a circle on it. We keep it open because it's not equal to, it's just less than. And we know that less than is shown to the left of the 2. All the numbers to the left of the 2 are less than 2. Okay? So 4 is our division. Remember that the fraction bar also means division. So x over 2 also means x out of 2, and it means x divided by 2. To solve this one, if you remember, we multiplied both sides by 2, because that's the opposite of division. So I'm going to write on that number and show you multiplying the side by 2, because that's the denominator, and that's what we're using. And we're going to multiply this side by 2. So if you multiply the left-hand side by 2, the 2's will cancel out. X will then equal 2 times 2, which is 4. Just like we did in the equation, the inequality is solved the same way. We have x divided by 2, so the opposite of division is multiplication. We multiply both sides by 2. And on the first side, the 2's will cancel out, and we'll have x is less than or equal to 2 times 2, which is 4. Now, to put this one, let's do a 2, a 3, 4, 5, and 6. And let's go ahead and graph x is less than 4. Well, let's make a circle a little bit better than that, though. Open circle on 4, but then we have to color it in and shade it in because it could be 4 because it's less than or equal to. So since it's less than, it goes to the left-hand side, and since it could be equal to, we shaded it in. Now, we've completed page 306. Try to go ahead and do 307 on your own, and then show it to your teacher. And 308.